Ahmadinejad. But what does a guy like him mean? Obama had his mind made up before he even met the man. And I'm not sticking up for BP. But now Holder is investigating, and who knows who he's investigating in the Gulf? We don't know. We don't know what's even going on there. America, I fear the radical revolutionaries have our country by the throat, and they are in charge. We showed you the Black Panther who says he wants to kill white cracker babies. We showed you the Weather Underground who said the same thing. These people have ties to the White House in a myriad of ways. Eric Holder is opening the floodgates, giving them permission to do what they want to do. He'll look the other way, except on things that they think need fundamental transformation. I am worried about the people who have already threatened violence. And I don't think it's unjustified, because I'm going to show you another story that no one in the media seems to really care about from Houston, Texas. It was an exploding box of candy at a woman's home this weekend. A story you won't believe you haven't heard. Next. All right, America, tonight we've been talking to you about radical revolutionaries, the people who say and have done in the past crazy things, violent things. Then I told you about what's happening in the Gulf Coast. I want to take you to Houston, Texas, in a story that I don't think you probably have heard. It may be unrelated, but I wonder who we'll find at the other end of a pipe bomb disguised as a box of chocolates. It was left on the doorstep of a home on a quiet street in Houston, Texas, when it was found by a 60-year-old woman. She's actually 62. She's the homeowner. When she opened up the box of chocolate, it exploded, and nails and tacks and shrapnel blew into her face. Imagine your grandmother having nails driven into her face. These nails and shrapnel blew so high, they were found on the roof of their home. Officials say the bomb looks to be put together by professionals because of the wiring. Now, is there anything to this story? Initial reports mentioned that it wasn't known whether the woman was the intended target or the home was. You're sending a house chocolates? And the name on the chocolate, it was misspelled, but it was the woman's name on the package. Fortunately for her, injuries are not life-threatening, but the woman appears to be, are you ready for this? See if this makes it relevant, the wife of the president of Adams Resources Exploration Corporation. What is that? That is an oil company. Her husband is an oil company executive. A company that is actively engaged in the exploration and development of domestic oil and gas properties, primarily along the Gulf Coast of Texas and Louisiana. Gosh, why doesn't the story find its way into the media? I'm just trying to figure this out. Radicals are being wound up, new ones. And those from the 1960s Nancy Pelosi cries about are the Tea Parties. But no one mentions these radicals. And now actual violence on an oil executive's wife. Police say it looks professional. The Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms Unit is now looking into it. If we can just get the Department of Justice to be investigating, well, then I know we'll get to the bottom of it. What do you say, just for the heck of it? What do you say we stay on top of it as well? We could use your help. If you are in the Gulf Coast region, some weird stuff is going on. Please send us a tip on this story or anything else you see. Send it to me at becktips@foxnews.com, or you can tweet me on my Twitter account. Back in a minute. I talked to my father last night. He said, "How are things going?" And I said, "Good, Dad." I said, "However, I think I've made an enemy of absolutely everyone with power in this country." And he said, "How do you feel about that?" I said, "Well, I think I know how it ends for me. I think I end up, you know, Joseph McCarthy or something like that." I said, "Because they just, you got to discredit me." And he said, "So what are you going to do about it?" And I said, "Keep speaking my mind." He said, "Good for you." I will tell you that we found some things here, and over the weekend, it's weighed heavily on me because some pieces fell together in my head this weekend that put us in a whole different ball game. I've talked to you about social justice, and this was, I don't know, about 6 months ago, and I got a lot of heat on social justice. I said, if your church is preaching social justice like the Church of Jeremiah Wright, if they are talking about how God is telling you to give the government to get and do these giant programs to do it, run as fast as you can. This has caused a lot of heat, a lot of heat. And I've shown you how the politicians and the left and the communists and everybody else, they are starting to use preachers to teach social justice, which is a perversion of the gospel. And now we found collective salvation. I need you to call your friends. I want you to call your pastors, your priests, your rabbis. I want you to watch tomorrow. Because tomorrow is going to be another very controversial day on this program. And they all seem to be. I think I could read horoscopes and it would be controversial. But Jeremiah Wright is preaching collective salvation. It's an idea that we cannot be saved as individuals. Christ didn't come down and save us. Certain groups have been saved, but whites in particular can only be saved if we give up all of our stuff, stop oppressing, and be collectively saved. There's no individual salvation for us. The Panthers are preaching it, and it's connected to the kill all white babies. And whites and blacks are doing this. This isn't a black issue. This is a white and black issue. But I found some audio and some disturbing things from one other person. Tomorrow, a full hour on collective salvation. I will tell you that the only thing that I think is going to get us out of this mess is a return to God. Before every great period in this country, before Columbus came, before the Pilgrims came, before the Revolution, before the Civil War, before Martin Luther King, there was an enlightenment, a spark of God. We have to have that. We must have that. We also must restore ourselves to honor. This is a historic summer. I don't know if you understand that, but you are living at a time right now where people, your children or grandchildren will say, where were you? What were you thinking? This summer on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial, on August 28th, I'm going to be there. There's all kinds of opposition mounting from this event, from the left, and groups like the Panthers. They're not going to scare me away. I don't have a choice. As an American citizen, I don't think we have a choice. It is our responsibility to stand peacefully together. This is something that is being turned into very controversial, but it's not. It's about uniting us over something I thought we could all agree on: honor and character. The head of the Black Panthers says he wants to come.
We'll see Glenn Beck on August 27th on the National Monument. The new Black Panther Party will see him there since he's attacking us nightly and he won't talk to us. We'll see him on the National Monument in the National Mall.
I've interviewed this man before. There's nothing else to say. I'm not attacking him. I'm pointing out what he says. And by the way, it's not MLK's birthday. It's the anniversary of the Dream speech. And it's 8/28, not 8/27. But you're welcome to come as long as you understand this is about restoring honor. It is about the things that Martin Luther King stood for. The content of character, not the color of skin. He and other leaders can come on out. But people have been acting as though no white man can mention or praise or support the mission of Martin Luther King. I'm sorry. African Americans don't own Martin Luther King. It's a human idea, just like white people don't own George Washington or Abraham Lincoln. These are American icons and ideas, and we are all Americans. How in my white pants I should be voting or something today. We'll see you tomorrow. Don't miss it. From New York, good night, America.